when it was you and two women, did you think, hey, both nights go to the girls? And I mean, what was going through your mind?
Oh man. What was going through my mind? Well, the thing that was going through my mind when I discovered that I was in the bottom three was, okay, don't panic. You still now you have a chance to perform. So, how do you maximize this time? How do you make this performance count to where it will compel people to vote? So that was really what was going on through my mind at the time. Just wanted to give a good performance. I think at that point because it was like it was out of my control. America had spoken, but the one thing that I could control was the type of impression that I left on the voters and the viewers of The Voice.
What was
That's,
it like seeing Usher's passion for you? Like
uh,
really wanting the audience to vote, and he really seems so connected and upset that and shocked that you were in the bottom.
oh yeah. Well, it was definitely comforting to know that Usher really believed in me as an artist, more so as a person. Excuse me. And the fact I was very taken aback at the fact that he really showed like that he really believed in me. Because a lot of times, sometimes it's very easy for us to really think that people don't mean what they say because there are cameras rolling. But at that moment, you know, he seemed like he was very sincere, and so that was very comforting. And the one thing that I could only think of was, okay, Coach, I won't let you down with this one. I'm going to give it everything I got and use everything that you've taught me thus far, and hopefully it will carry me over.
Have you talked to him since?
Not since the verdict was. Well, I take it. We talked briefly, right, as Tess had been declared the final member of the top 10. And that was a really interesting conversation because you would think it would be one that was like laced with tears and like profanity and all that kind of stuff. And in fact, it was the total opposite. It was a uh, very encouraging conversation and a very funny one. We shared a cool laugh. I told him, I said, Coach, you got the opportunity to work with a bad man. And he's like, oh, he kind of laughed. He's like, oh, yeah, man. I told him, I said, you'll definitely see me again. And I meant that. And, the thing that he told me was, you know, I was a wonderful talent and it was an honor to work with me from coming from him. And, I believe that he meant that. So.
He also sent out a nice tweet for you a few minutes ago as well,
Oh,
too.
really? Oh, I didn't get to see it.
Yeah.
I've been running my mouth.
Yeah. Well, at what point did you kind of think that you might not be safe? Did you have a suspicion going into tonight's show, or were you kind of shocked when the results were read?
Well, to answer your first question, I definitely, I didn't have any suspicion. When I got up this morning and as I got prepared for, tonight's show, I didn't think that I would be in the bottom three, but at the same time, I had to prepare myself mentally that I could be in the bottom three. And when I found out that I was in the bottom three, I was a little shocked, but I didn't panic because I had already prepared. It was like, this is the game. This is a part of the game, and this happens. So just because it's happening to me doesn't mean that the world's going to end. It's just kind of the way the cards fell. But no suspicions or anything like that.
When Kristen had the audio malfunction last night, there was a lot of attention because it happened, because of how she handled it.
Yeah.
She didn't really, her song wasn't heard, but yet she was still saved. And do you think that might have helped her, the whole situation, or including the way she handled it so well?
Well, as a performer, I definitely would say that her ability to carry on, given such a crazy thing to happen, I definitely think that helped because it showed that she was a true professional. Um, I experienced something similar in the sense that in tonight's performance, my monitors in my ear stopped working. I don't know what happened. I couldn't hear anything clear, and the only thing that I could hear was the vibration from the band, behind me.
During the Twitter save song?
Yes, during the Twitter save song. Yeah, and
Huh.
those things happen. This is the business of the unexpected.
And that's not an obvious thing like it was last night.
Well,
so
yeah,
nobody
yeah, no,
knows.
yeah, it wasn't obvious, but
Right.
there was nothing I could do at the point. It was like the
Yeah.
music was cute, and it's like, okay, like
Was it during your song or was it right before?
it was right before. I was
no.
checking my mic, and I'm like, I can't hear anything, I can't, and when we're live, the show must go on. So immediately, my professional instinct kicked in and said, well, you gotta make it count. So, like, hey, do what you can.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was
Yeah.
pretty good given the
Awesome.
circumstances.
Oh, thank you guys, thank you
And
guys.
could you see on the monitor where the percentages are going up for all three of you with the Twitter votes?
Oh.
It's kind of like,
I think I like glanced up at the
Right.
monitor and I could kind of see that, and then I looked away because I didn't want. Oh, go ahead.
that's
Sorry.
pressure,
Yeah.
when you see literally the bar
Yeah.
going across.
Yeah, it was definitely a sense of pressure, already an added sense of pressure given the circumstance that I was in, and I really didn't want to kind of throw off my performance because I wanted to be so invested. I didn't want to be thinking about, man, I only got like however many percentages I had. I just still wanted to be that true artist that said, okay, even in the face of adversity, let me still give the people what they want. So I had to kind of be selfless in that moment.
What's the biggest thing you're going to take away from Usher?
Hopefully those gold shoes. Just kidding. If I can say there's the biggest thing that I could take away from Usher probably would be his work ethic. That guy works like a madman to be very polished in his vocal performance and in his stage performance, to be very connected and committed to his songs as an artist. And so I guess the work ethic kind of encompasses all of those things. And so I would definitely take that away, and really, I've adapted it for the competition, but adopted it for the competition, and I plan on, adopting it for my career because I've seen it work. The proof is in the pudding, as they say. Gosh, that's so cliche. Sorry.
Do you have a game plan for your career? Like, did you think? I mean, not that you planned to fail, but did you think, okay, what am I gonna do if I get the boot?
Yeah, I did have a game plan. I've always been. Oh wow. Interestingly enough, Usher always preached this message during my time here on the show, and he said that luck favors the prepared.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So immediately, should I say not immediately, but like simultaneously, like while I was focusing on the competition, and, all things The Voice, I was definitely preparing and planning for my strategy, just in case, I was sent home. Even down to the T, like as far as like even answering these questions, right? I was like preparing, like what am I gonna say? Like, am I gonna be mad? Am I gonna cry? Like, do I want to cuss? Like, and my plan now really is just to build from this platform, and I look at this opportunity as one that is almost like what do you ever seen seen the movie like Fast and Furious, and like the guys like they're racing like these really fast cars, but then they got like that nitrous oxide button and it just like propels them like however many miles per hour further. Well, The Voice was like my nitrous oxide tank, because I am now at least 500 steps ahead of where I would have been had I not done the show. And what's to follow this is now just a great long career as a recording artist and as an actor on television and film.
You want to act?
Oh yes. Yeah. I actually, interestingly enough, acting was my first love. That was something that I really got into as a child, before I discovered music. And then when I discovered that I was good at both, when one wasn't happening, I did the other. So now I have the great task of like trying to juggle both, and it should be fun.